Do
Hey
what?
everybody, we're here back for another Regulator Talk podcast. I guess you could technically count this as season 2 as we go into 2019. This is our first episode, and you'll never guess what we're talking about today with my good buddy Gonk Bonk. I've known him for better half of an entire year essentially. Might have actually known him before that, but kind of like with Flash, I just didn't realize it. Um, Take us back to Arma, the Arma days when you were in the 203rd and I first met you, and I was just a lonely EOD guy who was an engineer when we played together. So how you doing, friend?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little tired from work, but a little correction there. You met me before I was in the 203rd,
What were you in?
332nd Attack Battalion under Legion.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah,
that one.
what?
So
I
that's
don't.
an interesting. I mean, it's dead now, so I mean, it doesn't.
It's been
It
dead for
doesn't.
a long
No
time.
one really
Legion.
know anything about it, but it was a.
It was an interesting bunch. There were some people in it, but it was mostly known for the overbloated claims of an Ahsoka fetish, even though that was all on Raccoon.
I don't know about that one, but
I can confirm it was Raccoon that did most of the posting, and then Church made up the rest.
Arm was weird.
Yep.
Starsim is
Any-
weird.
yeah, it is. Anyway, yeah, I remember when I joined the 203rd, I would host like free little fun ops in order to pass the time, give some people different stuff. For those who don't know, when we say 203rd, we are not referring to a stormtrooper unit. We are not referring to a Clone Wars unit. My mistake. The 203rd Imperial Legion
Yeah,
is the
they
unit I
were
joined.
actually unique.
Yeah, they
However,
were.
uniquity is not.
It's a rare commodity.
It is very rare, and I will say this: uniquity brings together closer friendships. Um, Yet at the same time, it doesn't bring in a stable income of members,
Yeah.
which it's kind of a double-edged sword. Do you want people that matter more, or do you want more people? So it comes down to what is your objective at the end of the day? Do you
It really
want
comes
as
down
many
to
people
the
as possible, or do you want to actually be able to form a friendship and a bond,
simplest way to
more
put
than
it
just
is
Arma?
quantity over quality.
Yeah, and you know, I guess that can be argued in a lot of
Yeah.
cases with the iniquity because there's been a lot of unique units that don't have the quality, so to say,
One
when it
of
comes to some
one of
people.
which being the one that I just recently passed off. The well, let me give my Arma history real quick.
Yeah,
I
we'll take it from the start, and then we'll kind of
All right.
take it all the
So
way loop around.
all right. Feel free to interrupt as you wish, but
All
I
right,
started off my Arma career. Um, I guess you could technically say I started late 2017
your little
with
tour service.
what's that?
Yeah, your tour service, as we'll call
Oh,
it.
yeah, let's call it that. Started late 2017 when Alcor, who was still in the old 104th Wolfpack town, he was going to talk. He was talking me and Cart to join him in there, and then shit went down and it fell apart, and just never happened. Then come late January, he told us, "Hey, I have these other guys over here who are starting up their own unit. It's going to be the 332nd Attack Battalion. It's under this cool guy named Legion. There's a few other people in there that are real nice. You should go join them."
Can we talk
So
about
we
what a
all,
concept, by the way? The
what's that?
332nd Attack Battalion, who
Yeah,
came around the same time as the Legion, but the Attack Battalion was ran by a guy called Legion.
Legion. Yeah, it
Only in
was really
Starsim,
confusing.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it was really confusing at the time
Yeah,
because we would both show up to join ops, especially over on the 327th Liberation server, and like we'd have to divide. I'm these people are part of the Legion. These people are part of the Attack Battalion under Legion.
yeah. It's like, oh, I'm with Legion. Commander Legion
Yeah,
or
Commander
the
Legion or
Legion.
Unit Legion.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, uh, I who was it? Alcor and Cart, and that's actually where I met Sixer as well. Alcor, Cart, and Sixer went off on their own. They left in order to start messing around with their own stuff. That was actually the infancy of what would become the Nolarks. Um, I ended up leaving after the 332nd Attack Battalion merged with the Rancor Battalion. I left and joined the 203rd Imperial, the 203rd Imperial Legion, because I was deciding whether I wanted to follow with my friends and go try something new, or well, do something clony, or I could go off and be my own for a little bit. I decided to go off and be on my own. I joined the 203rd Imperial Legion. I rewrote their entire training document, and it gave me the promotion of sergeant. And I started to host. I never Zeus for them, but I would host fun ops for other people to just come on and hang out on the server. And Bolt, I remember you used to always come on and wear not the EOD armor, it was the Imperial Engineers armor.
Which it was funny because people always like, you would never see anybody really ever wear that, honestly, because of like the unique role I was in. And I've said this in other podcasts before, and I still hold this very highly. I'm in a weird spot now, like just being busy with time and working on my own little mod and just life in general. So I don't have time to like practice what I preach. Today. Yeah, we'll get to that a little bit, but like it's kind of hard to practice what I preach. When I say that, at least last year, I was very heavily, like especially the beginning of the year when I wasn't running the show, I was just a cog in the wheel or whatever in the system. About having positive unit relationships and just like having somebody out there like representing you in the most positive manner possible. And so
I remember that specifically. I remember what you said when I first met you when you came over to the 330R server, the 3-Second Attack Battalion, when you're still part of 327.
Yep.
Apparently, there was some kind of drama going on between our two units, and you said you were coming over kind of as an ambassador to try to make things better.
Yeah.
And that things did get better until the unit fell apart, but that's a whole other story.
For both units, yeah.
Units mainly 332nd. Basically, after I'm talking about my unit. The 332nd.
Yeah.
After I left the 332nd, I left after they merged with Rancor. It was like a week after they merged with Rancor, they renamed themselves to Keeper's Legion. A week later, they split up, and then another week after that, Legion changed the entire unit over into MILSA, U.S. Army.
I remember, that's usually the tail of the take for, I think that's what it's called, yeah, for most, like, Starsim units, when it comes to, like, their final little,
hurrah. Their last hurrah.
Their last hurrah is they change name, they might change name again, and then they'll just completely go to modern day or something weird, and then most of the time they don't succeed in modern day, so they just disappear. So
and I think that's what happened with Keeper's Legion. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. I was in the 203rd Legion for like a month, 2 months. That's one thing you'll notice about my armor career, my tour, my HIST tour or whatever it was. I was only ever in units for like 2 or 3 months most. I think the longest I was in a unit was 3 months. But anyway,
I feel bad for Arkins in that sense because like I feel like he truly was robbed of having a great Imperial unit, even though at the time people said he just kind of assimilated everybody who was Imperial, and now we have a couple different ones. But
that came later on. What happened back when I was in the 203rd was he ended up starting up. I think it was a modern day unit, and he put the 203rd on the back burner, quote unquote. What had happened was
the Death Trooper incident. Remember that?
Oh fuck! Don't remind me that I was not in charge of that. I was actually opposed to the Death Trooper program, and you know what really boils down to the whole problem of it, which I found out after that debacle? The guy who was pushing for the Death Troopers, Thrawn, we found out, had no previous experience in armor. We checked his hours. Guy only had like 5 hours, maybe. He was just wanting to be special boy. He had been lying to us about his hours and all that, his experience.
It happens a lot too.
It's a plague, you can call it.
It happens.
Anyway, 203rd, we actually had a lot of blacklisted ops because, well, I can play into this. After Arcus put it on the back burner, I shortly asked him, "Hey, since you're putting it on the back burner, can I run it for a little bit and see how it goes?" And I did that for like a week, 2 weeks, and I didn't have any resources. I didn't do anything with it. Really, I tried to do something with it, but I didn't have the resources for it. And I had a little mental breakdown. Ended up leaving every unit and doing. I went AWOL pretty much. It was like, what was it? I think I handed it off patches after that because that's kind of in a gray area of my armor history where I'm not sure what happened. All I know is that eventually I ended up joining. What was it? It wasn't the 203rd. It was actually, I know what I can do. Because I have an old it's a concept art for when I was in the 1/4. I was going to make a special piece of armor, and my comic had like stripes for every unit I was in. I remember. Alcor hit me up one day, and he asked, "Hey, No Larks are doing pretty good. We're just starting out. Do you want to come join us?" I said, "Yeah, sure. I'll come play. I'll come back and play with y'all." Um, went in there, played with them, and the big meme was I was finally coming home because originally I was supposed to be one of the original No Lark members or whatever. See, stuck with the No Larks for like 2 or 3 months till the whole debacle between them and their sister unit, the 41st, which Patches brought up in his episode, and I would like to shine a little light on the situation.
All right.
So, basically, what it boiled down to was relationship drama between me, Evie, who was it? Patches refers to as Cass because her username is Cassify. I call her Evie because I'm dating her now. I have been dating her for, I don't know, like 6 months now. But anyway, it was drama between me, her, and Alcohol. The full story about 2 years prior to the whole event, Evie and I had dated, and I will fully admit, and I'm ashamed to admit, I basically ended up ghosting her. But it wasn't just to get away from her. I was going to try to quit being online for everything because I wasn't in the right place. Eventually, what was it? I had like a mental breakdown one night. Well, let me rewind. I dated Evie. This is like 2 years ago. I ended up ghosting her because I was going offline and cutting away everything, and I thought she had lost all interest in me, which apparently I was wrong about.
I feel like this is becoming like a little intervention, like a rant,
Yeah,
not like a rant, but
yeah. Anyway, then fast forward all the way up to like the breakdown I had with the 203rd, the 203rd when I took the keys initially. I had my little breakdown, and then it was like late at night. I was going through a lot of stress because there was a bunch of work related stuff. I was in a bad social situation. I forget what it was. I think it was like something with an asshole friend of mine that I don't quite remember now. I'm probably not friends with them anymore, so it's not important. Anyway, I ended up like messaging her saying, "I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm messing up my entire life. I don't have anyone else I can talk to, etc., etc." And on the messenger I was using to talk to her with, if you message an account that had been offline for a while, it would say that they didn't receive the message, and I'll get it when they log in. And I get that automated message back and think she's never going to she's never going to see that. It was just a nice venting moment, and I go to bed. Wake up the next morning, I have a message from her. And that's basically how her and I got back in touch. We talked it out, and we had started dating briefly again. After we dated, I introduced her to like Patches and the whole online group. And she used to tease me about how it seemed like I was always concerned that Patches was being a bit flirty with her, and I was super protective of her. And she just thought it was the funniest thing. Which I'm still super protective of her. I think that's just a general quality of my personality. And then I remember specifically, her and I were having a bit of a rough patch because we were discussing whether we wanted to seriously pursue our relationship and what the ground rules to kind of make up these 2 years where I've been gone. And she waited 2 years to hear from me. She had been waiting for me that entire time. So she's insanely loyal. But basically, we were going through all that, and in the middle of us laying down the rules, Alcor messaged her and said, "Hey, I like you more than as a friend, and I know you're kind of seeing Gonk at the moment, but I was wondering if you wanted to go out with me." She told me about it, and her and I got into this big argument about happiness and whether we were going to last or not, and all this. And I remember it explicitly because this was when I was working at that newspaper factory or that newspaper printing place, and I was cleaning up the room at the time because there was nothing left, nothing left to do for the day, and I was just texting her in my free time. I was like, I was really upset I was real sad. I didn't want to lose her because she had just come back to my life, and I was happy with her. I was having a good time with her. And basically, what it boiled down to was I told her, "Do what makes you happy," and I said
Arma.
that. No,
She's like, not
no.
armor. Yeah. I was
Uh,
trying to tie in like a good heartfelt joke of like, oh, make her your second in command because what could go wrong, you know?
no, she won't. I don't think she'd touch armor with a 10-foot pole, and I'm happy because of that.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
Yeah, I don't
Here I
either.
am. I'm like making a mod for it now, and I'm like,
Yeah,
what am I
hypocrite.
doing? Like, you know.
Fucking
But it's a
hypocrite.
nice learning experience. But yeah,
Yeah.
continue with that.
Anyway, I told her, do what makes you happy. I said that thinking she would say I made her happy and she would stay with me.
Oh,
She took it as I was telling her to go be with Alcor and I was being really snarky. So what ended up happening was she left me and dated Alcor.
what
It
is
was
wrong with this community? We got people dating each other. We got like people
no, this
second
is
in
a
command dating each other. People who are like,
wait. I'll talk. I'll ask about the second man thing. I don't think I've heard that one.
just go re-listen to a podcast called the
I
21st
probably.
Nova Core.
Oh, I listened to that. Oh, I
But
about now. I
oh
never
my
listened.
gosh, well, like I don't know what's worse because like in modern day milsim, you usually get those guys who are like stolen valor. Oh man, he actually was
Mm-hmm.
40 years old and had asthma and was in the military, so now he bosses around 12-year-old kids, you know, or 16-year-old ROTC kids, you know, and then like in Starsim, they're like dating each other and you know and making each other second in command. So
I
like,
have a joke about that. You see, Starsim is the Alabama of the Arma community. We're all just stealing each other's members. We're all just interbreeding, and it's coming out to be this an inbred, disgusting mess. Any-
it's horrible. It's
yeah,
I don't
that's my
know.
joke on it. To continue the story, though, I'm rounding off this whole relationship thing back into Arma. Just
Yeah,
getting,
I'm waiting for that. I think everyone's trying to figure out how's he gonna pull
yeah,
this off. How's
I'm
the
getting
full
close.
circle gonna happen?
I'm getting close.
It's a big curve.
Basically, it was like 1 week after she started dating Alcor. I hadn't talked to her, and I told her, "Hey, I I feel like we had a misunderstanding. I miss you, etc." etc. Just being that kind of the typical thing an ex would do, but I was trying to be genuine with it. And she just kind of said, "I understand that, but I'm with him now. I can't really do much for you." Uh, Teen on it was like second or third week in she started talking to me, and I'm not going to say this on the podcast because it was revealing some stuff about Alcor that really pissed me off and
I'm
pissed
gonna
her
get
off.
a message from Alcor, and he was like, "I want to be on the podcast and tell my story." I'm just like, "Oh
Oh
my
God,
gosh!" And then she's gonna
he
message
probably
me,
will.
and she's
He
gonna be
probably
like, "You don't know me, but I want." I'm like, "What?" Like, next thing
will.
I know, I'm gonna have
Anyway,
like a three-way dance.
after like, if you want to make it a foursome, I can try to get Cass in on this.
All
I
right,
don't know if you do it
let's
though.
calm down. All right, let's not do some duet dances. All right,
All right.
this ain't Star
Anyway,
Sim drama alert. I
anyway,
thought we were gonna talk about the 203rd. All right,
I'm bringing it back.
all
This is
right,
actually going to be
round.
bringing back the Nullarks and what killed off the
It's
Nullarks.
a big curve here.
Said that the drama between me, Alcor, and Cass killed off the Nullarks. He was right, but there's a little more to it. I'm just kind of give all the backstory behind it. Anyway, after about 3 weeks of him dating her, her and I had been talking behind his back, and then her and I started like flirting and being kind of cute and sweet on each other behind his back, and we started kind of seeing each other behind his back. And I remember, and the way Patches got involved was that he and Cass were getting close, and I was close with Patches at the time. And I asked her, "Hey, I I feel like I need to tell someone about this. Do you care if I tell Patches?" And she said, "Sure, go ahead." So I told Patches about it, and that's when he told me that he wanted me to fuck Evie and to cuck Alcor.
Well, this just
I
turned like rated R really quick.
yes, it did. So I took a screenshot of that because I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious at first, and then I thought, well, she trusted me enough to have me tell Patches about our little infidelity. I don't think infidelity is the right term. But anyway, she trusts me enough about this. I should probably tell her as well. So I took the screenshot, sent it to her, and then she sent it to Alcor. So that brought Alcor being pissed as shit to Patches, which then was he blew up on me and he blew up on Cass, and then the whole quote unquote Nolark calamity happened, which is what the 81st call it. They have a gag order actually, which I'm not in the 81st, so I can tell you all about it. Basically, Alcor had been getting stricter and stricter on his grip on the Nolarks and on the 41st. He was treating most of us like shit. He was like, looking back, I understand why he was doing it. We were the Special Forces group, which is what the Nolarks were.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be like limited seats. You have to earn this seat, and you have to fight to actually keep this seat.
Yeah, weren't there like 12 of you guys, but it was treated like the meaningless 10 or something?
Yeah, well, there were 6 Nolarks. There were 3 ARC troopers. I think there were 4. No, it was what was it? I remember it was 6 Nolarks, which they were at the top of the pecking. It was Alcor at the very top of the pecking order as Nolark leader.
And then like Gen 2 or something?
No. Then there was Patches and Shakespeare as the Nolark XOs, and they were like number 2. Then there's the regular Nolark. Then there's the Nolark Gen 2, which they were just kind of a glorified ARC trooper. Beneath them was what I was, which I was an ARC trooper. And then beneath us were, well, I say beneath us, it were the commandos. But the way it really worked was imagine a triangular pyramid. You know what I mean? A pyramid with 3 sides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was. One face was the 41st. One face were the ARC troopers. One face were the commandos. And the top of it all, at the very peak, was Alcor. Anyway, fuck. This is getting convoluted, very convoluted. But just bring things around. Alcor was getting stricter and stricter on the unit. All the relationship drama happened. You can rewind the video if you want a quick recap, quote unquote, quick recap. But it brought out a lot of gripes people had with Alcor, and so that's when Patch's little rebellion started to rise up against Alcor. While me and Evie were dealing with our own personal shit with Alcor. Cass and I ended up dating, and we broke away from Alcor. Alcor, I think he and I are okay. I really don't know. He sends me a message like every now and then out of the blue, but I barely message him back. And that's how the 81st Star Corps came about. It was a bunch of fucking drama. Anyway, going on past that, back into Arma. After I started dating Cass again, I fucked off to, what was it? The 212th Attack Battalion. I went off and I joined GARP.
Wow.
Yes, I joined the 212th Attack Battalion for a week.
So why'd you pick? I always ask people this one, like why'd you pick the 212th over? There was no 101st at the time in GARC. Over the 501st.
It was 1212. 212. It was the 212 and the 501st. I didn't want to. I'm always the kind of person that I don't want to be hipster. I don't want to be mainstream. I want to be like the off color of mainstream. So I said, okay, I'll join the 212. They seem a lot chiller. I joined in as a CR, which they wouldn't accept the numbers 0715, which is where my numbers all the way up until that point. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to change the number. I'm 1570 now. I kept the name Gonk though.
It's funny because the numbers don't really matter.
Yeah, they don't matter.
At the end of the day, I think if we could go back, I don't think I've actually ever been asked this one question. I should have asked this for you. We'll start here because I've never actually asked anybody this one. Or anyone's asked me. If there was one thing you could change in Starsim, what it would be. For me, I think we would completely rid ourselves of the number ledger system, whatever we call it. It's completely useless. Even in Gmod, it's more of a way to just dehumanize somebody to, that clone status, and I would keep it where it's just their nickname. Then again, I like things more on a, actually getting to know a human being, not in just, this fictional realm, But what would be one thing you would change in all of Starsim?
What I would change?
You would just delete the mod?
This is something I know I can't do. And it's kind of, it's multifaceted. On one side, I would like to change the popularity of the Clone Wars TV series. Because the only
Really?
reason there are so many clones and so many clone units is because that series was fucking awesome and everyone wants to be them.
I'm actually gonna give a different opinion on that one
Uh-huh.
because I was born in a different generation, just a little
You and I
bit.
are we're born 5 days apart. I'm older than you by like 5 days.
Yeah, but you know, you and I like the Rebel, the Merc stuff like that, but we still like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, Clone Wars. But I will always say we have the better Clone Wars in the animated movie, the Clone Wars,
Oh, 2003?
from 2003. Yeah,
Yeah, I completely agree with that. But anyway,
yeah,
I
yeah. You got a
say,
TV show, we got a movie, but our movie was just better in my opinion. So,
yeah. I I
dude,
say,
Anakin had tattoos.
dude, that
Anakin,
scene
yeah.
was amazing.
Oh
That was
man,
so cool. The one on Mortis in the Clone Wars was similar, but it didn't have the same feel to it.
General Grievous had like Rara Rasputin playing in the background, just killing everybody.
That fucking meme,
Dude, and
yeah.
the Nol like not Nolarks, the Munilus
The
10,
Mutant Sims,
yeah,
yeah.
which was basically the Nolarks with the Patches always says that's what they are kind of built off of, but they were
That's
just
what
called the
Alcor did
Nolarks.
build the Noarks off of.
Yeah.
I brought that up to him all the time, but he always ignored me. Anyway, moving. What were we talking about before that? Oh,
Your
what
days
I
in the
would change about
dark.
Starsim.
Oh
What I
yeah,
would change
yeah,
about
what'd you
Starsim.
change?
I wish the Clone Wars weren't as popular because if they weren't as popular, you'd find a larger variety of units. You'd probably find more rebel units. You'd probably find more mercenary units, more imperial units. And like I remember them, the 404th Mythosaurs. I remember them so vividly because they banned me because they banned me from their Discord server because I was going around to every server advertising this up because it was when I was first starting to do advertising stuff. But they were CIS and Mandalorian units.
Yeah, I remember those guys. They were pretty chill. They never, you know, I've only
I
had
never
one bad run-in with a person when it came to advertising ops with them,
Headed
but
Sparrow. I know what you're about to say.
yeah, well, I wasn't gonna just be like, "Oh, Sparrow," you know, but yeah, since you
Uh,
said it, but yeah, you know, but anyway, other than
whoops.
that, like we haven't had any ill conversations. He kind of does his thing, and I do mine, and I do my stuff better. But
Okay, then
yeah,
you're starting some drama. I'm glad I'm not an arm anymore.
he's like,
Um,
they hate that American, that Monte.
anyway, I'm gonna bring this back around.
You say you're not in Arma 2 weeks later. Go.
No, stop,
I'm gonna count. I'm gonna count down the days.
dude. I replaced Arma with the Star Wars role playing game from Fantasy Flight Games. Oh my fucking god, I can't get enough of this game. Dude, give me like 5 minutes to wrap up my service tour in Arma, and I'm gonna blow up on that. Service tour in Arma, quick rundown. I was in a week in 212th Attack Battalion. I left the 212th Attack Battalion because I went to one of their main campaign ops. It took the entire unit to capture a town that non-Gark members can capture with one squad. Also, in that one town, the guy who was leading my team, I was shot by a B2 in the head right beside him. I was bleeding out right beside him. He was still barking orders at me to start shooting back while I'm unconscious. Yeah, and like I hear them charge off, and I hear over the radio, "Where's Gonk? Where's he been? I haven't seen him in a few minutes." And then as soon as I hear that, I die. I bleed out, and
When
I
I
have to go
was,
back to the
I don't do this as much now because you know I have mostly Zeus things, but
yeah.
um, when I was Orion's like secondhand man because he'd always cut it in half where, you know, KP would probably Zeus or KP would run a second squad, but I'd always kind of be like his second hand because EOD is a very front lines, like you are meant to die type of
Yeah.
character because you're mind detecting, you have a carbine or shotgun, like you're very front heavy exposed all the time.
Yeah.
And I remember I'd always be like, you know, I'd be like, "There's a bolt roll the radio, Roswell, you there?" You know, just like checking on people, making sure that they're still alive, because that's something that I don't know. I feel like kind of gets forget about is
Yeah, a lot of
you
people
gotta know
forget
where
that.
everyone's at, and like I don't
Oh, I
know,
just
it
remembered.
becomes a lot harder in like bigger units like 501st and 212th, but even in the
Yeah.
smaller units, you still gotta be
I
wary
just
some.
realized something. I completely glossed over my time in ISR.
That's true. You were
My
there.
between the 203rd Imperial Imperial Legion and the Nolarchs, I was one of the first members to join the Interstellar Regulator
Back when it was a like official quote
when it was an
unquote,
actual unit.
mercenary organization unit.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember we used to, the way we
just
would quote unquote rank up were by going to other people's ops and then we'd report to you and then you would give us like, what'd you call them?
it was like cartel currency or something like that. It
Yeah,
was like
it
a
was something like
mixture.
that.
That little
And after,
CIS unit, Mandalorian one you talked about, kind of did something like that, but it was also adapted from. I played the Old Republic MMO, so that's
uh-huh.
kind of where I got the little like
Oh,
cartel system from also.
I know what you
Um,
mean.
but I'm so glad. It's just, I have that saying of it's just a community, and like once you're in, like
Yeah.
you can just do whatever, and it's
Honestly,
so
that kind
fun.
of
Like,
that
just
money
chill.
system that you
So
had, you just ranked up by going out and playing people's ops and being out in the community. That was a great idea.
I like that. Um, but it was also a lot of micromanaging that I don't think
Yeah.
long term I could have, held on to or wanted to do. I think I had, what was it, a base 10, like little levels or ranks or
It was 5 levels.
whatever. I think there was more. There had to be more than that. It
No, you
also
had
differed
5 levels.
on.
It was 5 levels, and then there were 5 different classes you could join into.
Yeah. Well, I knew there's classes, but I feel like there was more levels. I wanted to do.
No,
I wanted to do like 100 levels, but that was
I
too much.
remember that.
So I
I
kept it
remember
down like
discussing.
really small to. I don't think. I think it was more than five.
No,
It had to be at least
no, it was
10.
5. I remember specifically 5 because it was deserted clone recruit, deserted clone trooper, deserted
ARF.
deserted Republic Commando, then deserted Arc.
There's ARC also.
Yeah,
Huh.
deserted Arc was at the top.
Yeah, I guess they all had only five. So
Yeah, they only had 5. Anyway,
I
moving on.
remember it more than I do, and I have the docs somewhere.
Yeah, I think I still have it bookmarked.
Yeah,
But
everyone's probably got those because I always had those public and shared. So.
yeah,
It's the
but
best way to run things too is just be, especially when it comes to looking at Swap and, you know, all the other mod teams and how they do things. I'm probably
mhm.
the most oddball, like frowned upon guy of like breaking all the, secrets or textures or renders or whatever. Like as soon as I get it done, I'm like, this is what I did today. Like, so, not
Which
only
is
do I
why
feel like I accomplished something today, but also like, hey, this, like, it's right here. Like, it is this close in our grasp. Like, I actually, just to show like how less, like, I don't have any patience either. I was gonna release my mod, Mercs of the Galaxy. It's just I call, like BTA and stuff like that, Fusion Studios and
yeah, yeah,
442nd Community, all this stuff. It's just glorified retexture mods, and they fit your needs. Like BTA filled the need of commandos. 442nd was his guys and did the little visors, and it was amazing.
yeah.
At the time, Redux did the helmets, which was unspoken of. And right now, what I'm trying to do that no one's done is do weapons. I want to, because I think, armor, it's more close to yourself in terms of like not many people are going to run out with other people's armor, but
Yeah.
yeah, weapons are interchangeable. You're always going to be picking them up, and I think that'd be cool. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was going to wait till tomorrow after my op and be like, hey guys, mod dropped. But now I'm like, 11 o'clock at night. Nah, I got it all done. Here, guys, enjoy.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Anyway, I was in Dinosaur for a bit. I was in 212 for a week. Their leadership was competent. Patches talked me to joining the 81st. I was one of the first members of the 81st. I left the 81st after a couple days because I didn't like how Patches was running the unit. After that, I joined the 104th. I was in the 104th for like 3 months. I was airborne in the 104th. I loved the 104th. I got out there. I got out there just in time. It was like the week after I left, they started enforcing what was it, predetermined kits. I used to build my own kits all the time. And I had enough medical supplies to fill the team. I had explosives, I had everything.
man, if only there was a community or a unit where you could just play the game how you wanted to without
Yeah.
predefined. Man, it just.
Which I mean,
I don't know.
That's Interstellar Regulators. I learned everything I know from the Interstellar Regulators.
I could teach anybody anything but how to pilot. Like and even then, like I can still BS my way through piloting, but I could never be a fantastic,
Dedic-
a dedicated pilot, like fantastic one. I know there's footages of me like messing around with like 104th guys on
yeah,
like Arc 180s, doing
I
bombing
remember.
runs, but even then, like it was garbage. Like you
That
could
was a
look back and
train.
just laugh at how horrible I was. So
That was not a serious session. That was a training session.
yeah, if that was on the battlefield, if that was an actual unit, somebody'd be chewing someone's butt out and be like,
Yeah.
you just killed the entire team or you messed everybody up because of your one bombing run that missed, wasn't a
Yeah.
good splash, but
But anyway, I was in the 104th. During my end of tenure at the 104th, I started to set up a secret project, which actually your podcast with Krim is what inspired me on it.
and yeah, I remember you talking about this, and I remember I was a big advocate. I've always been a big advocate of, you know, being whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
In terms of if you want to be in a rebel unit and a modern day unit, because when I was in the 327th, even though I spent 1 week a month, you know, or I think it was 1 week a month, or maybe like 2 weeks a month with a World War II unit, I was rank capped in the 327th as much as I was there.
Uh-huh.
And I was a big advocate for that should never happen. Like if you put in your time and you're just that good and knowledgeable, you should be able to get the recognition, no matter how high the rank
Yeah.
is. Like this isn't a job at the end of the day, unless you're paying me to be here and you're feeding me Domino's pizzas. Like I
You got to
ain't.
be sponsored. What was it Rybolt sponsored by the 327th Star Corps?
Yeah, official Domino's mascot boy. But yeah, that's why when you were talking about starting up your little project, Fear Knock,
The Fear Knock.
I forget who it was that I actually confronted, and I was like, "You're gonna let?" Yeah, I can't remember the guy. I was like, "You're gonna let Gonk do this?" Or like, "Well, I don't know." I was like, "Callow doesn't give a shit." I was like,
Tusk.
"You're gonna let
Tusk.
him?" Well, Callow was running the show still at the
Yeah,
time, I
Callow
think.
was running the show, but
Um,
Tusk was, I think, was the one that was a real hard no on it.
and I said, "You're gonna let him do this." I said, "Cause it's, you know." I don't think you're a high rank or whatever, but at the same time, I was also like, you know,
That's a funny story. You
it's
know
a
what?
whole different time era, and
Yeah.
like I don't
Mhm.
know, as long as it
At
doesn't
this
cut
time,
into like your op schedules, like it shouldn't matter, And at
at
the end of the day,
this,
it's still someone's gonna
yeah.
prioritize, where their
Uh,
time needs to be, what
but
makes
I
them
was gonna,
happy.
you know what eventually led to the Fear Knock Insurgency group going public?
Huh?
They gave me a bullshit promotion in the 104th. You know what it was?
What was it?
They promoted me. Was it? Was I Lance? I think it was. I think it was Lance Corporal. Yeah, I think it was Lance Corporal 1570 Hopper because I changed my name to Hopper from where I'd been joining units on and off.
Yeah,
Uh, but it was like the end of this like 4 hour op. It was a real tough time. The entire time we were on this planet, Airborne had pretty much been transformed into Rangers because apparently winds were too high for jump packs.
yeah,
But at the end of it, there's a promotion ceremony. I was told to step forward. I was expecting, yeah, I'm going to get corporal. I'm finally going to be second in command of my squad, like I've been promised for the past month.
yeah.
They say, congratulations, Hopper. You're now promoted to the rank of specialist. No, it gets worse. It
I
gets
don't
worse.
I don't count specialist as a rank. I know a
Yeah.
lot of I think doesn't 212 do specialist or something like that also?
Dude, 212 has like 7 ranks of enlisted.
I don't I don't believe in specialist as a rank. Like
Yeah.
it's literally called specialist. I don't know. Like honestly,
Uh, you know what made it even worse?
it's so weird.
You know what made it
Like
even worse?
EOD is a branch of specialist, I would count at that point.
It is, in my mind.
So, and if you
But
weren't counting the certifications or MOSs or anything like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
but
What made specialist so much worse, I had accepted, said, okay, fuck it, whatever, I'll just take the rank. And I went on to the roster to check for, what was it? I was going to check for the new abbreviation so I could
yeah,
update my name.
it was a SPC or whatever.
No, 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 no. Yeah, that's what it was. But I
Yeah.
didn't know at that time. I wanted to make sure it wasn't in the listed ranks. I watched them add the rank to the roster.
Oh,
So I was like, you literally just cut me out of a corporal position for the fuck of it. I and I left. I said, you know what? Fear Not Conspiracy Group is going public, and I left the unit that day.
Dang.
Yeah.
So I guess you got with Krim and just kind of made it,
Krim,
right?
I owe Krim a lot. Krim is the one that did pretty much everything administratively for the Fear Not Conspiracy Group. He's the one that put in all the effort. He set up the Discord, he set up rules, he set up our roster, he did pretty much everything clerically. And then he got us like he doubled our size in like 1 week because we got a bunch of the old 21st guys come in. Though within the same week, all the old 21st guys left and took Krim with them.
Yeah, because it's not at the end of the day. It's not the 21st. It's the weirdest concept. The 21st guys, even though they ran a Republic militia, in spite of the 21st in the middle of it with the 21st, they also they just want to be 21st. They just want to be 21st, and some of them just want to date each other, right? You know, it's
go make your
Super Smash Bros. You know, just smashing bros. You know, just yeah. But
honestly, all those guys are like super dude bro people.
have
you ever sat down and talked to all of them in one call? Dude,
they in TeamSpeak, yeah, not in Discord. They're TeamSpeak guys.
No, I did that in Discord. They are all super dude bro people.
Yeah, they're all bro. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, and guess what?
I like them, but they're different.
They're all only like 16 or 17.
I wouldn't.
I found that out
me in Arma.
They were talking about school, and I asked them, "Oh, are you guys in college?" And they said, "No, we're in high school."
They're like middle school.
I don't doubt it. But anyway, Fear Not Conspiracy Group evolved into the 18th Fear Not Regiment, which was my pride and joy.
Yeah, why'd you give it a number?
Why'd I give it a number?
Yeah, I'm curious on that because like you know,
there was a story reason, and then Krim convinced me to rush the story reason was it was over the course of 3 weeks we were going to transition from the Fear Not Insurgency Group into the 18th Fear Not Regiment.
Yeah.
And what it was first campaign operation. It's us announcing ourselves as the Fear Not.
Yeah,
Second
I was there.
Operation.
I was Zeus, I think, right?
Huh?
Wasn't I Zeus or something? Or
yeah, you Zeus, but
medical was broke by the way too. I remember that because yeah, we had
right. I ended up getting that fixed later on, but then it broke again.
Arma's just Arma, dude. Like
Arma's Arma. It's a buggy.
It also doesn't help because you know, the Clone Wars, as much as people like, you know, are mad about it and they're like, it's noise optimized and B1s and B2s, like I should be able to kill them faster. Yo, like y'all never faced a Mandalorian or Imperial, like they instantly whatever they're called, just kills you. Right?
Dude, I remember that exactly because you know what it is? First of all, Rebels literally have no armor. It's the same armor as wearing clothing. Second of all,
yeah, they don't have a vest unlike clones or whatever. Like they just go out there with a sash and then like a belt buckle. So
that's all Rebels have. Yeah. It's like I'm wearing my poncho, time to go to war. But and then the Imperial E11s, I remember you telling me this after the op.
Yeah.
Apparently the E11s haven't been rebalanced since they were first released.
And that was almost 2 years now, essentially.
Yeah. Stormtrooper armor also is stronger than clone armor, I learned.
They have a vest, yeah. That's like really overpowered.
Which the great thing was, I remember your video exactly, which is hilarious. We all just run off into the city within just 5 minutes.
Pop. Just keep on dying. We're like, well, I gotta put down another spawn point.
Et cetera, was killed. Et cetera. For like 20 people died.
Yeah.
We were just running in droves.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are just like taking over the entire city, just getting each other killed. And people would be like, hey, I just died. And I'm like, yeah, I put the checkpoint flag. I'm like, by the way, you have no armor, and those stormtroopers, yeah, they're ripping you up. So
yeah, they were shredding us alive.
And there was no like, I don't think there was any vehicles yet. And I even had it where like you had like a little side objective to like go and rescue a dude's brother or something, and you got it.
It was Ferris and someone else got the captured ATST, and we just started shrekking them until the ATST was destroyed.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but
neither do I.
Unless it was like a TIE fighter bombing or something. I remember at the very end, some guy, I don't know if it was Jobs, somebody, a couple people probably, I think Ferris was there too, kept on asking me. They were like, yo, can we have the X-Wings? Can we have the X-Wings?
That was the 21st guy?
And I remember,
The only one I authorized to do it was Shalia, and I authorized Ferris. Dude,
Yeah,
I
I get the
saw
call over the
Ferris
radio,
in
and
the
it's like only these guys are authorized.
yeah. I was like, no, only these people are allowed to do it. Though I will say, that was the first time I ever saw Ferris fly. You know, in The Force Awakens and in The Last Jedi, how Poe Dameron flies. He's like doing all these super
Oh
tight
my
turns.
gosh,
These
dude! I
takedown
kept
turns.
on trying to kill him in the Tie Fighter.
Dude,
Little dude just kept on
that
getting
is
away.
that is
It was
exactly how
ridiculous.
Ferris is the Arma Poe Dameron. I tell you, man. You give Ferris something to fly, and he will kick your ass. He's an amazing pilot. It was mesmerizing just watching him. But anyway, um, I'm gonna wrap up with the topic I was just talking about. It was the Fear Not Insurgents group. First, the original plan was first week, first campaign up. It's going to be us announcing ourselves as the Fear Not, attacking a base and
Yeah.
taking over for ourselves. Second week campaign up was going to be us assaulting a communications base and communicating to the Rebel Alliance, hey, we're here, come supply us. And then we were going to retreat. Third one was going to be capture the airfield and hold it till Rebel reinforcements arrive. Krim convinced me to say, fuck it, we're going to do this all in one giant, massive op.
Yeah.
Which is what, and that's when you came in and you hosted it for us, and I said, fuck it, let's just go all in. And 18th Fearnock Regiment, we are now an officially recognized regiment. We are not an insurgency.
I have a new found respect for all the modders of Arma because they don't get to play their game. They don't get to play their masterpiece, and I feel the same way. Like I barely get to play, or I Zeus, and that's not really playing. That's like babysitting. Like
you're the game, dude. You're the game master. You are the dungeon master.
yeah, and it feels weird because I don't know. Maybe because I am a perfectionist, and I'm like that
It's
didn't
a
really go.
different
That didn't go
style.
as planned. So like, and then people are like, "That was awesome," and I'm like, "Really?" You know.
Yeah.
Like one
Happen-
op I always talk about is it was really roleplay heavy. It was like a ambassador op. I was like, yeah, it could have been better. And people tell me they're like, that was amazing. And I'm like, what? I was like, I don't know. I guess like because there's not many ops where you actually end up like the clones betray you and you work with the CIS. And I always call it in that exact moment, the clones became the Empire. And so it was like that switch of like the CIS were essentially the weakened, battered force that could not rebuild itself. So they instantly were the underdog good guys, and the Galactic Republic became an empire and became evil.
Yeah.
So it's that very exact moment in Star Wars that I wish was looked at more in terms of like from the CIS side. So or
I
from
don't
like a
remember that
civilian
one.
standpoint.
I must have missed that one.
It was during the day actually, and it's one of those weird occasions where, it was during the day on like a Friday, so like,
I was
it
probably
wasn't
at
like a
work.
Friday night or Thursday night thing. It was a let's do it at like 5 o'clock, and
Yeah, I
let's
was
just
probably at
see,
work.
and it was way earlier, like last year. Like Kal-El was
Yeah.
still 104th, and before his whole Wakanda thing in Legion Studios with all his custom armor, so it was still
Yeah.
early there.
Anyway, to wrap things up on Arma, because I do want to talk about more than Arma on your Arma podcast, which is
Well,
taking up the
we're gonna
entire
do a
podcast.
part two with
Oh, sweet. Oh, yay. I get two podcasts?
yeah, with the because
Sweet.
I actually want to get Osiris on here too to talk about
Oh,
the Galaxy board game. Um,
okay.
but I do want to wrap things up though with the 18th Fear Knock, and um, kind of near the end of it, there was another Rebel unit that showed up, and I played with them for like one or
Yes.
two
They
games. Their
were they
server
were
didn't work
different.
too much, but they
That was
assimilated with you.
that was the 61st Twilight Company.
Yep.
Funny story. They were developed. I developed the Fear Knock from the airborne section of the 104th. Jerry, who developed the 61st Twilight Company, developed his unit in secret in the 104th as well. But neither of us knew we were doing it.
Whatever happened to him? Post
He
this.
The 61st Twilight Company, they were having some issues with their stuff. They eventually merged into us, and within like 2 weeks, everyone that had merged into us had left.
Huh.
Yeah.
They just disappear off the face of the earth, or
No, they were like each one kind of gave their own little reason as to why they were leaving.
yeah,
Like, for most part, it was our scheduling because we had a really weird schedule for our ops
yeah,
because we were using the what was it? We were using the server box for the 81st Star Corps Patches' unit, so we had to work around them. So we were doing our ops like super late at night on a Thursday because we also had dual uniting, so we had to account for every other unit's schedule as well.
Yeah, and I remember Patches would always want to fist fight you with the 81st.
Yeah.
He'd be like, it'd always be a thing of like, Bolt needs to Zeus, but the 81st wants him to Zeus, or yeah, the 81st wants him to Zeus, but then Gonk wants to do a campaign, so
Yeah, so it was always like this major scheduling issue, which
yeah.
that was, and the way a lot of people say the Fear Knock died. The Fear Knock did not die. I'm going to tell that story real quick before we wrap up. It'll be our
Yeah.
closing story.
Yeah, we got about probably like 5 more minutes.
Okay, I can do 5 minutes. What ended up happening was the Fear Knock was plagued with server issues. There were several memes in the unit about them. I can actually send them to you if you want. I think I have them saved.
Yeah.
Anyway, there were several server issues after I got everything fixed. There were like a couple issues I was still working on, but basically, I was moving from where I lived in Pulaski, Tennessee, up until Nolensville, which is just outside of Nashville, which is the state capital. It was a big move for me.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was doing that, Ace updated. Then after Ace updated, Star Wars Opposition Ace updated, and this was in the big drama between was it the 501st and Swap?
And let me tell you, boys,
mod updated so that it was
why
incompatible.
TCW Ace, hands down. I like Scar, I like Jay. However, at the end of the day, I still think Opposition will satisfy my needs as a universal era, community that just plays and enjoys the mod. However,
don't
Jay and the TCW, their Ace is great.
Don't pimp TCW when I'm on here. I have major issues with them. I have major
but
issues.
Their
that can
Ace,
be part 2.
hands down, never had a problem with it.
I
always tell people, even back in the day, I never used Opposition Ace. I said never use it. Use Ace or Ace X, wherever you prefer. Little Ace never gave me a problem. Opposition Ace always gave me a problem for servers. Whether they were Fox Gaming or Hague's or even Quick's, way back when I used his just a little bit here and there, but I've usually used Hague and Fox Gaming.
Quick still does server hosting. He has really good server hosting.
Yeah.
Anyway, to wrap things up, everything basically updated, and the rumor was Swap was going to update in December, and it was like, I'm going to wait till. Yeah. I'm guessing that still hasn't come yet. Anyway, it was
still waiting. January, so.
At that point, I was getting really tired of Arma and the Arma community. I was tired of spending entire days trying to get shit to work, so I just kind of put it on the back burner. I never worried about it while the unit kind of slowly started to wither away, and I felt bad about it because the Fear Knock was my baby. It was my baby. I loved the Fear Knock, and I love what it is now. But what ended up happening was I came out and said, "Okay, guys, this is why shit isn't getting done." Everything started updating. I was in the middle of doing something major in my personal life, and I don't know how to fix it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but I'm peacing out. Goodbye. I can actually pull up the exact quote.
And this was this before or after Val's funeral?
This was after.
Okay.
But this message I had sent. This message was after Val Mork's funeral,
mm-hmm.
and it was like almost a month before I left the unit. And this is the exact quote. I posted this in Biv's private Discord, which I don't know if you had her on or not. Anyway, I hate Arma, and it fills me with dread anytime I have to boot it up.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm reading it off exactly. I hate Arma, and it fills me with dread anytime I have to boot it up, and I'm ashamed of the 657 hours I have in it. I don't even have that much time in Skyrim. The only games I could say I have more time or comparable time is Star Wars The Old Republic, Empire at War, Pokemon as a franchise, X3 Albion Prelude, and Minecraft. And I've bought multiple copies of 3 of those. One's an MMO I have followed since 2011, and the other one is an entire franchise. And it boggles me how people always brag about their hours in Arma like it's some kind of accomplishment when that's literally thousands of hours of your life gone you will never get back. Not only that, Arma takes over your life. It's like a drug that I fucking hate. It will suck up all of your free time if you're not careful. I've put relationships and people I love on hold just so I could try and fix an op or because I was playing in an op. I've wasted so much time playing it, and I've wasted a lifetime opportunity playing it. I can explain that one. I'm fucking sick of this game, and I swear to God, I'm about to walk away from it all. A month later, I walked away from it all. But before I did so, I handed off the keys to Shalia, who now runs what is called Renegade Squadron. Before I handed off the keys, he presented me a document showing off all the changes he was going to do. I approved it. Ferris approved it. And he said, "Here's the keys. Here's everything. Go make us proud." And that's Renegade Squadron now. I always pimp out Renegade Squadron. I love the Renegade Squadron guys. I poke my head in there every now and then. I
They
don't
got a
say
nice
much.
name.
Huh?
I like their name.
Yeah, it's
I always
actually
say that you got to have a good name in Starsim. Well, apparently not for some
lore.
people, but like I always say, like if you want to last long, you do. You know, or have
Yeah,
a noticeable one.
surprisingly, Renegade Squadron is a lore unit that was ran by Han Solo
Yep.
in Legend continuity.
Yep.
Anyway, just real quick, I want to. There's probably going to be people that are going to ask about what I meant by I've wasted a lifetime opportunity playing it. I was given the chance to work as a life insurance salesman.
I remember
If I
this.
had stuck with it, I could have made easily $100,000 a year or so at 20 years old. I would have been set for life, and I wasted it all the time I should have done studying the materials and all that so I could get my license to do it.
Yeah.
Fixing armor ops and fixing armor servers and playing armor. So I wasted that opportunity. I wasted it once in a lifetime. Easy next 40, 60 years or whatever of my life because I was playing fucking armor. And it was like around that time straw broke the camel's back and I was sick of it, which is why I will personally never go back to armor. It's why I've quit armor for good. The closest thing to an armor server I deal with is I'm in the Renegade Squadron server, but I have the server muted, and I'm in ISR, and I'm starting to pull away from that more.
He won't do it.
I won't pull away fully from ISR because there's some good people in there, but I don't like everyone there.
It's a community. I don't like everybody there, and I run the show, so yeah, so just calm down. But
yeah,
no, he'll be back. It's Arma. Arma is addicting.
No, I will not be back, and
we'll see.
We will talk about this in part 2. Yeah. I replaced my Arma obsession with Star Wars role playing game, Fantasy Flight game.
Hey, I deleted Arma for like a quick month, a whole terabyte deleted, and I came back anyways. But
I'm happy with my 152 gigabytes.
So we don't know, but thanks for being here and telling your story. Of course, we'll have the part 2 later on with Oz and yourself. We got to get a good time for everybody. Because Oz is a busy working man also, and just times are busy, especially winter and whatnot. And now's the best time to use the excuse you don't want to play Arma because no one really is playing it until the summer, and near the summer things start booting up again really heavy. But no, that's gonna or if there's an update. But no, that's gonna do it here, guys. As always, keep it safe, and we'll hear from y'all next time. Peace out.
Remember, kids. Remember. Oh, you still recording?
Yeah.
Remember, kids. Don't do school. What was it? It's drink. Dump your vegetables. Don't stay in school. Do drugs.
Okay, don't pay attention to Gonk. He apparently this entire podcast he was doing something else. But keep it safe, guys.